Welcome to your sleep story. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Whatever this day was, however long it felt, however much it held, it is behind you now. Completely behind you. You made it through. And that is everything. So let's begin. Before I take you anywhere tonight, I want to count you down from 10 to 1. And as I count, I want you to allow yourself to sink just a little deeper into wherever you are right now. Feel the weight of your body. Feel what is beneath you, holding you. And with each number, just let go a little more. 10. Allow your eyes to close. Gently, completely. There is nothing you need to see right now. 9. Feel your shoulders and let them drop as far as they want to go. 8. A slow breath in through the nose. 7. And all the way out. 6. Your hands. Feel them opening. Whatever you've been holding today, you can put it down now. 5. Your jaw is soft. Your face is soft. 4. Your legs are heavy, warm. 3. You're drifting, not asleep yet, but moving that way. 2. The day is behind you, completely and entirely behind you. 1. And now, tonight's sleep story, the relaxation. Before we go anywhere, I want to stay here with you for a moment. Just here, just now, because this moment, this exact moment right now, where you are lying in the quiet, deserves a little attention, a little kindness. Take a breath in for me, from the very bottom of the belly. Good, and let it go. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that everything you were carrying today, every worry, every unfinished thought, every heavy thing is just leaving with that breath, just drifting away. You don't have to solve anything tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are right now. A person who deserves rest. A person who deserves sleep. Because you do. You really do. Whatever happened today, whatever was hard, whatever felt heavy, you made it through. You are here. And that is enough. That is more than enough. You are safe. And you are here. Bring your awareness gently to your feet now. Just notice them and allow them to soften. The toes uncurling, the arches releasing. All the small held tension of the day simply letting go. Let that softness travel upward, through the calves, through the knees, the thighs. All of it warm, all of it heavy, all of it resting now. Your lower back, your hips. Allow yourself to feel the surface beneath you taking your weight completely, fully. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. The sand has you. The desert has you. The belly soft. The chest soft. The heart beating steadily as it always has, as it always will. Your shoulders dropping, your arms heavy and warm, your hands open and still, the neck long and loose, and your face, let the jaw go. Let the forehead smooth. Let the eyes be completely still behind their lids. There you are, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, completely soft, completely warm, completely at rest. You've done beautifully. Now, let me take you somewhere vast and ancient and quiet, somewhere the dunes go on forever, and the sky is more stars than dark, and the sand still holds the warmth of the day, and the silence is so complete it has its own presence. Come with me. The desert. Imagine the Sahara, not the Sahara of a photograph. The real thing. The scale of it is the first thing you cannot photograph. The photographs always flatten it, reduce it to something manageable. The real Sahara is not manageable. It is the largest hot desert on Earth. 9 million square kilometers, an area roughly the size of the United States. Most of it you, no one, nothing. The emptiness is not absence. That is what strikes you first when you are truly inside it. The emptiness of the Sahara is not the emptiness of something missing. It is the emptiness of something that simply is what it is, completely, without the complications of human settlement or human scale. The dunes, the great ergs the sand sees, the areas of mobile sand dunes that most people picture when they think of the Sahara. Not all of the Sahara is dunes. Much of it is stone desert. The Hamada, the Reg, the barren rock, and gravel plains. But the dunes are extraordinary, rising and falling in long, slow waves, frozen in sand. Each one a different shape. The crescent of the Barkhan, the star dune with its multiple arms radiating from a central peak. The long linear dunes running in parallel lines for hundreds of kilometers. The sand of them, golden, or it was golden before the sun went down. Now in the dark, the dunes are silver. The camp, a small camp, at the base of a dune, not elaborate, a few bedrolls spread on the sand, their surfaces catching the starlight. A fire recently extinguished, its embers still faintly orange in the dark. The smell of the fire's last smoke still in the air. A lantern on the sand, its flame small, already dimmed to the minimum that gives a little light without burning through the night. That is all. A camp in the desert needs nothing more. The dune behind it, enormous. Its ridge line a clean curve against the stars. The desert in every direction. The flat desert between the dune fields. The sand compacted and firm underfoot. The surface of it scattered with small dark stones that the wind has sorted from the sand over centuries. And the silence, you notice it as you settle onto the bedroll. The silence of the Sahara at night is not ordinary silence. It is the silence of a place where there is simply very little to make sound. No water, no trees in the wind, no insects, or almost none. The desert's insect life sparse and cryptic, present in the morning in the tiny trackways through the sand, but invisible and inaudible now. Nothing, just the faint, very occasional sound of the sand, moving very slightly in the barely there night air. YUSSEF. His name is Yusef. He is the guide. 43 years old, born in the nearest town, 3 hours drive from here, which in the desert means 3 hours through a landscape that most people in the world will never see. He has been guiding in the Sahara for 20 years. His father guided before him. His grandfather was a trader on the old routes, the routes that connected the cities of the north to the cities of the south across the desert, the routes that carried salt and gold and slaves and ideas and stories for centuries before the roads came. Yosef carries all of that, not as weight, as knowledge. He knows this desert the way Miriam knows her clay, the way Henry knows his lavender, the way Thomas knows his town at night, by long, faithful, daily attention. He knows which dune formations hold water below the surface, the theoretical water, the water that exists in the deep aquifers of the Sahara, water that fell as rain thousands of years ago, when this desert was not a desert. He knows the stars, not the names the European astronomers gave them, the Arabic names, the older names, the names given to them by the desert peoples long before European astronomy existed. He knows the night wind, the direction it comes from, what it means, what the morning will bring. He is sitting near the extinguished fire, looking at the sky, the stars, the stars. Let me stay here, because the stars of the Sahara at night are not the stars you see from ordinary places, even from a dark mountainside, even from the most remote locations of Europe or North America. The stars you see have been filtered by the atmosphere above the land, the humidity of the temperate zones, the slight haze that even the cleanest continental air carries. In the Sahara, the air is different, dry, the driest air on Earth in some parts. The atmosphere above you is almost entirely free of moisture, and in that dry, clean, transparent atmosphere, the stars are present in a way they cannot be present anywhere else. Not just more of them, different, the faint ones visible, the very faint ones visible, the stars that are always there but rarely seen present here, each one adding its light to the total. The Milky Way, not a band, not a suggestion, a structure. You can see it as a structure. The spiral arm you are looking along, the dense center far away and bright, the dark dust lanes running through it like rivers. You are looking into the galaxy, not at the galaxy, into it. This is the difference that the Sahara makes. You are not looking at a flat image of the sky. You are looking into depth, enormous depth, beyond what the mind can hold. The sand beneath you, the bedroll on the sand, and beneath the bedroll, the sand, still warm. It has been warm all day. The Sahara in summer reaches temperatures that are almost incompatible with human survival. The surface of the sand in full sun exceeding 70 degrees Celsius. That heat is stored in the sand through the afternoon and the evening, and it is still present now, radiating upward through the bedroll, through your body, warmth from below, from the sand, from the day. The Sahara has a large thermal mass. The sand stores heat the way the stone walls of the cottage store heat, the way the stone of the monastery holds what the fire gave. The desert sand holds what the sun gave and releases it through the night. You lie on it, the warmth coming up through the blanket, the cool of the night air on your face. The desert at night is cold, genuinely cold, the temperature dropping 30 degrees or more from the day's maximum. As the dry air releases its heat rapidly with no moisture to slow the cooling. Cold face, warm back, the desert giving its day warmth back to you. Patient, generous, the fire's end. The fire, it went out an hour ago, or was let go. Yusuf built it small. The desert fire is always small. The wood that exists in the desert rare and precious, not wasted. A small fire, sufficient for the cooking of the evening meal and the warmth of the early night, and the light of it on the faces of the people around it, and then banked, and then let cool. The embers are still there, a faint orange in the dark, the last heat leaving them. If you look directly at them, your night vision is lost for a moment. The orange brighter than it looks, the eye adjusting, the smell of the extinguished fire, wood smoke fatting, the particular smell of desert wood smoke, the dead wood that Yusuf collected this afternoon, dry and clean, the wood of a drought-killed acacia, the wood that burns very hot and very clean and leaves almost no ash, the smoke already dispersing in the cool night air. Soon only the smell of the desert, which is very little smell at all. The desert at night, almost odorless. Almost. There is something very faint, a mineral smell, the sand itself, the quartz and the feldspar and the other minerals ground to this fineness by wind over millions of years. A clean, cold, very faint smell, the smell of ancient rock, of deep time, of a place that has been what it is for a very long time and does not require anything to smell different. What Yusuf says. Yusuf says something, not often. He is not a man who talks to fill silence, but he says something at some point in the evening that you carry with you. He says, looking at the sky, his voice quiet the way voices always become quiet in the desert, as if the desert asks for a lower register. He says, in the city, you look at the stars. Here you are inside them. He does not explain this. He does not need to. You understand it. Standing in the desert, this flat, open, enormous desert, with no building, and no hill, and no tree, and nothing between you and the horizon in every direction. And above you the full dome of the sky, the full hemisphere of stars, the Milky Way directly above. You are not looking at the stars from outside. You are in the middle of them. The stars are around you, not above, around. You are inside the sky. You breathe this in, and something that has been slightly compressed, something needed this exact quality of space to releases. The dune. You walk to the dune, just to the base of it. The sand underfoot different from the flat desert, softer here. The dune sand finer than the compacted surface sand. Your feet sinking slightly with each step. The dune, close up enormous, its surface not flat, but rippled. The wind makes these ripples small parallel waves in the sand, each one the record of a wind that blew at a particular speed from a particular direction. The surface of the dune is a record of every wind that has passed over it since it last rained, which was a long time ago. You put your hand on the surface. The sand, fine, impossibly fine, the individual grains barely perceptible between your fingers. Each one a tiny piece of ancient rock, rounded by millions of years of wind transport. Each one its own shape, its own history. You let it run between your fingers. It falls, silently. Sand falling in the desert at night is completely silent. You watch it, and there is something in the watching, in the sand falling through your fingers in the dark, in the starlight, at the foot of a dune that is 100 meters high. That quiets everything. Everything. The camels, nearby the camels, not close, 100 meters perhaps, tethered at the edge of the camp, their dark shapes visible against the slightly lighter sand. They are resting, kneeling the way camels rest, folded down onto their knees and their chest, their necks extended, their heads held low, the sound of them, occasionally a breath, the low, slightly resonant sound of a camel breathing, a sound that carries well in the desert quiet, the sound of a large animal at rest, completely unhurried. The camels have carried everything today, the bedrolls and the water and the food and the people, the whole weight of the camp transported on the backs of these animals, their feet finding the desert surface with the broad, soft pads that are the camel's adaptation for exactly this ground. They have walked all day. They are resting now, as all of us are resting. The camels and Yosef and you, all resting under the same sky, all held by the same sand. The silence of the Sahara. I want to give it to you properly, because it is unlike any other silence. The silence you might find in a mountain monastery, or a floating river village, or a shepherd's hut. Those silences have texture. The wind in the monastery garden, the river beneath the boat, the stream in the valley. The Sahara silence has almost no texture. It is the purest silence most people will ever experience. Not the absence of sound. Silence is never truly the absence of sound, but the reduction of sound to its absolute minimum, to the occasional very faint sound of sand grains moving in the night breeze, to your own breathing, to the occasional breath of a camel. That is all. And this silence, you feel it, not as emptiness, as presence. The silence has presence. It fills the space the way the warmth fills a candlelit room, or the way the smell of beeswax fills a workshop. Not with nothing, with itself. The silence of the desert is something. It is old. It is patient. It asks nothing of you. It simply is. And in its presence, the noises of the ordinary world, the noises that you carry inside your head without knowing you are carrying them, the background hum of a life full of things, these begin to quiet, one by one, without effort, simply in the presence of the Sahara's silence. They quiet. The meteor, a meteor, you see it from the bedroll, not a shooting star, something larger than that. A fireball, briefly, crossing the sky from north to south, its trail persisting for 2 or 3 seconds after it passes. A green-white trace in the dark sky, fading. Gone. You heard nothing. Meteors make no sound at this altitude. The light only, and the trace. Yosef saw it. He does not look away from it, even after it is gone, for a few seconds. Then he looks back at the sky, as if the sky has simply shown him something it wanted to show him, and he has received it and returned to his watching. You lie back, the sky above you, full of stars, and somewhere in that sky, the rock that just passed through the atmosphere, burning in its descent, its light seen for a moment, and then gone. Matter that has been traveling through space for millions of years, finding the Earth's atmosphere tonight, finding your eyes, growing still. The bedroll is warm. The stars are above. The desert is around you in every direction. Yosef is sitting by the dead fire, or he has lain down too. You can't be certain. The dark is complete except for the stars. The camels are breathing. The sand is warm beneath you. The sky is everything above you. If thoughts are arriving, and they probably are, that is what minds do. They are not staying long. Here, perhaps more than anywhere, they do not stay long. The desert does not hold thoughts. The desert is too old for thoughts. The desert was here before thinking, before language, before the thing in us that worries and plans and rehearses. The desert simply is. And in its presence, the thoughts come and go, as they always come and go, but faster here, lighter here, as if the desert air is too thin and too clean to hold them. They pass through, and what remains is this: the sand, the stars, the silence, you breathing. Peace lives in the desert. It has always lived here, in the sand and the silence and the ancient dark. Tonight it is yours. Good night. You are doing so beautifully. The day is done. You came to the desert tonight. You lay on the bedroll and felt the sand's warmth beneath you. You watched the stars arrive one by one until the sky was full of them. You walked to the dune and let the sand run through your fingers. You watched the meteor cross from north to south. The desert received you, as the desert receives everyone who comes to it with openness, without ceremony, without requiring anything, simply with the sand and the silence and the stars and the scale that puts everything in proportion. Carry it with you on the hard days, the small days, the days when everything feels enormous and urgent and impossible. Remember the desert. Remember Yosef's voice, quiet in the dark. Remember what he said. Here you are inside them. The stars are not above you. They are around you. You are inside the sky. You are part of it. You have always been part of it. You know the way here now. But tonight, you are already here. The bedroll is warm. The sand is warm. The sky is full. Sleep now, deeply, completely. You deserve every sand warm, star-filled, silence held, desert vast, ancient dark moment of this rest. Every single one. Good night. Sleep well. The desert through the night. The stars moving. The stars move. You know they don't move, or rather, that the earth rotates beneath them. The stars fixed and the earth turning. But lying on the bedroll, watching, you can see the movement. Very slowly, the whole sky rotating. The stars near the horizon moving the fastest, their apparent motion greatest there. The geometry of the circle largest at the edges. The stars near the pole barely moving at all, turning slowly around the fixed point of Polaris. The sky as a clock, the oldest clock, the clock that was telling time before there were people to read it. The clock that sailors have navigated by for millennia, that shepherds have used to know the hour on a watchless night, that the desert peoples have always known. Yosef knows this clock. He can tell the time within 20 minutes, usually from the position of certain stars. The stars turning all night, without pause, above the desert, above the sleeping camp, above you, what the sand is, the sand of the Sahara. Let me tell you what it is. Each grain of sand in the Sahara is a piece of rock. The rock was once part of something larger, a mountain, a cliff face, a boulder. It was broken down by the slow processes of weathering. Rain and frost and wind and chemical reaction over millions of years, breaking the rock into smaller and smaller pieces. The sand grains are the small pieces, rounded by their long transport, carried by wind, bouncing along the ground in a process called saltation. Each bounce rounding the grain slightly, the edges worn away over countless millions of impacts. Each grain carries this history, the mountain it came from, the millions of years of transport. The grains in the Sahara come from many sources, from the Atlas Mountains to the north, from the ancient rocks of the Saharan Shield, from riverbeds that were active thousands of years ago when the Sahara was green. Green. The Sahara was green 10,000 years ago, a warm, wet period that climatologists call the African humid period. The Sahara was savanna. Rivers ran, lakes filled. Hippos lived where the dunes are now. The rock paintings are evidence on the walls of caves and cliff faces throughout the Sahara. Paintings of cattle and giraffes and crocodiles and hunters and families. The art of people who lived here when it was not desert. The desert carries its wet past in the deep aquifers. The ancient water is still there, very deep, very old, and in the sand, the memory of the rivers that deposited it, the memory of the mountains that produced it. All of this under you, in every grain. Yusef's night. Yusef does not sleep until late. He never does in the desert. There is something. He would struggle to name it, as Clara would struggle to name what she feels in James's chair. Something that the desert night gives him that the day does not. The sky, the silence, the particular quality of being awake when the world is asleep. He has been coming to the desert since he was young, since his father first brought him at 10 years old on a 3-day journey to a well in the deep desert. His father did not say much about what the desert was or what it meant. He simply brought Yusef and let the desert be what it is. The desert taught itself, as it always does, to anyone who stays in it long enough, to anyone who is quiet enough to receive what it has to give. Yusef sits beside the dead fire, the stars above, the sand around, the sleeping camp behind him. He is thinking or not thinking. The distinction, as it was for George on the sugar house bench and for Brother Thomas in his cell, has become less important with the years. He is simply here, in the desert, in the dark, under the stars, as his father was, as his grandfather was, as people have been in this desert, for as long as people have been in this desert, which is a very long time. The desert before dawn, the coldest hour, before dawn in the desert, the temperature reaches its minimum. The sand that was 70 degrees 12 hours ago is now cold to the touch, 15 degrees, perhaps 10. The dry air having released its heat rapidly through the night. The sand's surface having radiated its warmth upward into the sky. The bedroll holds you. The wool blanket that Yusef gave you dense, heavy. The wool of desert sheep, bred for exactly this temperature range, holds you. You are warm. The air on your face cold, very cold, the shock of it against the warmth of the blanket. But the sky, in the hour before dawn, the sky is at its darkest. The moon has set, and the stars, if it is possible, are even more present than they were at midnight. The sky having fully dark adapted, every photoreceptor in your eyes open to its maximum. The Milky Way directly overhead. Not a band, a river, a road, the ancient road across the sky that the desert peoples followed in their navigation, that gave ships their bearings at sea, that has been above this desert since the desert began. Still here, still there, the road across the sky, the first light. It comes from the east. Of course it does. It always comes from the east. But in the desert, the coming of the dawn light is different from the coming of dawn anywhere else, because there is nothing between you and the eastern horizon. just the flat desert, and the sky above the flat desert, which is everything. The first light is not light. It is the absence of a certain kind of dark. The sky in the east, above the horizon, losing one shade of its blackness, becoming not blue, not gray, something that is the pre-color of morning, the color that is before color, and then gradually, the stars in the east going first, the faintest ones, absorbed into the growing light, then the brighter ones, the stars retreating westward as the light grows, the edge of the lit sky moving west across the dome, the darkness remaining in the west longest, the stars there burning until the last moment, and then the sun, not quite yet, not for another 20 minutes, but the sky above the eastern horizon pink, rose, a thin line of it, the most delicate color, the color of the first moment of a day that has not yet decided what it will be, the dune to the east catching it, the tip of the dune, the highest point, lit by the first direct light of the day, the sand going from silver to gold in a moment. Gold. Yosef is watching. He watches every dawn in the desert, every single one. After 20 years, the dawn still stops him. It always will. But you are asleep, long asleep, the blanket warm, the sand warm beneath you, the stars still above, the western ones, the last ones, and you will sleep a little longer. The desert is patient. The dawn is patient. They will still be there. The fire is cold. The embers are dark. The camels are breathing. Yosef is watching the sky. The stars are moving. Very slowly. The Milky Way is above. The dunes are silver. The sand is warm. The silence is complete. The desert is everything. And you are sleeping. Deeply, completely, peacefully, on the sand, in the desert, under the Sahara sky, held by the ancient sand, held by the warmth of the day the sun gave, inside the stars, as Yosef said, inside them. This is exactly where you should be. This is exactly what you deserve. Every sand warm, star filled, silence held, desert vast, ancient dark moment. Every single one. You are safe. You are held. You are at peace. Good night, dear friend. Sleep well. Sleep deeply. Good night.